Hi, my name is Sinem and I work on the C++ team here at Microsoft, where yes, we use GitHub Copilot. In this video, we're going to look at how C++ devs can get the most out of an AI programmer and what workflows we found work well. And just before we start, if you're completely new to Copilot, you'll probably want to check out one of our Getting Started videos like this one here. So here I have a calculator class written in C++ that has a variety of different functions. Additionally, I already have the C++, CMake tools, and GitHub Copilot extensions installed. Upon first glance, I noticed this code is not as simple as it could be and could use some improvements. Luckily, Copilot can help me clean up this code. All I need to do is highlight the code I'd like to select, and I can either use Control or Command-I, or right-click Context menu and select Copilot to start an inline chat. I can then ask Copilot to simplify this code for me. I'll invoke this inline using keyboard shortcuts since I want to perform a series of quick fixes to my existing code. And great! Copilot Chat was able to simplify this code so that there are less excessive variables being generated and stored. Copilot Chat can help you with many tasks, but it is an AI pair programmer, so we recommend you review any results it provides you with whenever you use it to generate code. Using the Show Changes icon, I'm able to easily see the existing code and edit any portion of the new code inline if I need to. But for now, this looks good to me, so I'll accept it. Now that I've accepted this code, I am realizing that none of these functions modify the state of the calculator class and simply perform calculations, so they should be made static. So I can highlight the same section and open the Copilot Chat window and ask it to make it so that all the functions that do not modify the state of the calculator class are static. We are off to a good start with this code, but I want to make this calculator more fleshed out with more mathematical functions. I need some help brainstorming, so I can use the chat pane on the side to ask Copilot Chat to provide me with a list of functions that I can add to a calculator, and it'll help provide useful responses. Now that I have some ideas, I want to proceed with adding a square root function to my calculator. I can highlight my section of code and ask Copilot Chat to add a square root function. This seems logical, but does not have any error case handling. I can add more context to my prompt and ask Copilot Chat to handle any errors. It can be really useful to iterate on your prompts with Copilot Chat to get your desired outcomes. Okay, great. Copilot Chat helped create a function for me. I even noticed that it provides code that follows my coding conventions, such as the num variable, using nan for error scenarios, and using static to precursor the function. This really helps save me a lot of time of thinking of a new function and writing the code for it. One of the other actions that Copilot Chat can perform is explaining any section of code for me in natural language. So since I have this new function, I can select all the new code and ask Copilot in the context menu to explain this chunk of code, which uses the /explain command. This makes it a lot easier to understand what really is going on, especially in unfamiliar sections of code. Now that I have a new function written out for my calculator class, I want to generate some test cases. Copilot Chat makes it easier than ever to help you generate test cases for your code. I can just select my applicable code and ask Copilot to add tests for my square root function. It will follow my testing conventions in my existing test file, but if I did not have an existing test file, it will help me create that file from scratch based on the testing framework I provide the prompt. Now that Copilot created these new tests for me on my square root function, I can trigger a reconfigure of my test file. And that's great. I realized that they passed in the Test Explorer after compiling. If I want to change frameworks, I can simply ask Copilot to help refactor these tests into my desired framework. In this case, I'll ask for gtest. We highly recommend you provide as much detail as possible in your prompts to Copilot so that you can get the most specific and relevant answers possible. So now that I refactored my code, I'm realizing that I'm having some issues with the new gtest header. In this case, I can ask Copilot to explain this error since I'm unsure where to start. Copilot was easily able to explain this error, and I now realize that I never installed gtest or integrated it into my CMake list.txt file for my new tests. It even suggests to consider using a package manager. This project uses CMake presets to invoke VC package, so I can easily add gtest to my vcpackage.json to install this dependency upon configure. I'll now need to make some updates to my cmakelist.txt file to invoke this package for my tests, so I will step away for a second and do that and come back. Okay, so I now have the gtest dependency configured and linked in my cmakelist.txt file. I can now rebuild my project and press run in the Test Explorer and notice that all my tests passed using this new framework as well. Thank you so much for your help, Copilot. We hope this inspires you with some use cases to try out Copilot Chat in some of your C++ workflows for yourself. Comment below what else you'd like to see Copilot do for you in your C++ code, and stay tuned for more improvements as we are constantly working to improve the C++ experience with Copilot Chat. All relevant links will be linked below. Happy smart coding!